In this lesson, we'll create the outer rim of the fan for the wing. So let's do this as we have with some of the other objects. We'll start with a primitive circle. So go ahead and bring that in, and we want to orient it so that it's facing up and down. So we will use the XZ plane, and let's go ahead and bring it over sort of into a rough position here. And if you want to go from the top to see that, you can place it a little bit more easily. Okay, so let's take the radius here and we'll go ahead and increase it a little bit and just kind of place it in the center. Okay, it doesn't have to be an exact match here. All right, now I want to turn on this ring, and then I want to increase the inner radius. So let's make this the thickness that we want that ring around the fan to be. Okay. All right, so once we have that, I'm going to go ahead and make a copy, a duplicate of this, and then let's go ahead and add an extrude to the initial circle. And let's go ahead and add a thickness here in the pitch, the Y. Okay, so we'll give it a little bit of thickness. Let's also go into the caps and add some roundness to it. Okay, we can add a couple of steps on both sides and maybe increase that radius depending on how rounded that you want it. Okay, we can take that, push it down into the wing. Okay, and if we want to make that a little bit bigger, we can scale it, or we can just take our radius, modify that a bit. Now for this circle, let's go ahead and modify this. I want to create a little bit of detail up above on top. And so let's go ahead and take this circle. Let's decrease or increase the inner radius and decrease the outer radius. Okay. And let's move it down. Okay, and let's make a duplicate of this again, and let's add an extrude to this. Let's go ahead and bring it up. We want to make sure that again, we have some thickness here and not in this direction. Okay, now on this one, on the cap, I want to have none on the start, and then on the fillet cap, I want to change that to a half circle, and then I want to add some divisions in there, and then let's go ahead and just pull this down so it penetrates into the top of our piece there, so we get something like that. Okay, let's do the same thing on the bottom. So we've got our circle down here, kind of bring it down. We can, if you want to kind of increase that so it takes up more of the shape there, go into our extrude NURBS and drop it inside. Okay, this time we'll drop it down. Okay, and we can go in here on the caps, set that to fillet, change the fillet type to maybe 1 or 2 step. Okay, we can change the radius if we want to, but I just want to add a little bit of that detail to the bottom. Then we'll take that circle and just move it up into the surface. So it just gives us a little bit more interesting detail than just having the plain rim around it. Okay, let's go ahead and select all of these. I'll right click and say group, and then we'll call this something like fan rim. Okay, so now that we've got the rim built, the next thing that we want to do is to go ahead and create the fan blades themselves, and we'll do these much like we did this grill at the back, and that is to use a cloner, but this time we'll use it in a radial fashion to create these blades. So we'll go ahead and do that in the next lesson.